Hi everyone, welcome to my cyberspace. We continue our video on Power BI Paginated Report, and in this particular section we are going to be working on the project. And we know that if you want to work with Power BI Paginated Report, it's best that we have SQL installed. In case you don't have SQL installed, please do well to get SQL installed. Let's get right into it. So first few thing is let me just open my Power BI Paginated Report. So in case this is the video you're watching, try to check out other ones to be sure that you have Power BI Paginated Report installed. So it's called Report Builder. If you just search Report Builder, so this is it. So we open Report Builder and we have it right here. So but before we click out anything, I could either just exit out or whatever, but yeah, let me just exit out. So we see we don't have anything: parameter, images, data sets. And in the previous video I spoke about how to load in data in Power BI Paginated Reports, but like I said, we would always need to do like SQL, right? So let's open our SQL SSMS. So whatever like database you're using, you could use any one of them. Just make sure at least you have a server running on your device. So one of the things I want to do is I want to get connected. I try to get connected. Remember this name, so you could copy this your server name. That is, you're going to be needing that to create your connection in Power BI Paginated Report. So this is like already right here, and what we just want to do in this video is we want to select like the data sets that we want to work with for our Power BI Paginated Reports and all of that. So I have the Adventure Workspace already. In case you don't know what that is, you could check out my other videos, and the link is going to be put in the description for you to load in Adventure Works. So I want to use Adventure Works 2012 because that sounds very old, and a lot of people will probably have that depending on the version of SSMS that you are using. One thing I also want you to know is that, so for each of these, we have the table and we have the view. So the table, you probably have like a lot of tables, and I would recommend that when you're working on a project, except that you probably like you want to do some transformation or data pre-processing a lot, I'll just tell you that it's best to look for data from the view section. So the view section has like some data that has more information. So what we could do is let's just try to open up a few number of data. So let me open up this, and you might be wondering what's the difference between the view and the actual table. To not make things complicated, table is a real table, view is like a table that was created just because like you want to do some pre-processing. So we see that this table has like the business entity ID, the sales, the phone number. There's not so much of things that we have here, so let me X this out and let me try to look for another one randomly. You can also know a good data from the table name. This is not like something that I really wanted, but let's try. So I think one that I saw was this one. Let me open it up already. So I saw this table. This is always, so this is human department. So this one, the table is called view employee department. So this is a view. So right, so we see that we have view employee. So we see the human resources, the employee department. So let's just open up this one. And why do I think this is a good data set? This doesn't have a lot of information, but one of the things that we get to know that this actually has dates. I want us to be able to practice how to use date filtering in Power BI Paginated Reports. We also know that this has like some categorization and not necessarily a lot of things. That's one. We could use this. This can be something we could use. Okay, so we have this table name already. So in case you know how to use alias, so I'm just going to leave this as this so that we don't complicate things for ourselves. So let's go to Power BI Paginated Reports. Remember that I already copied my server name and the previous video. So add data source. One of the things you know is that you can actually add like a good number of more than one data source, which you will try in this video. Also just choose the database name. So I want to choose the 2012, and what you do is test connection success. That's what we want. We have that. You could also come to credential, just know that it's Windows users authentication. That's that about that. Now we have our data source. What we want to do is to select our data set. So add data set, and the first thing we want to do is we just want to copy our query. So instead of doing top 1000, I'm just going to do select distinct. This is a good practice to select the distinct for each column, and we have that. So I'm just going to copy that right here. So it's a text. I could load in the full table, but I also need to choose the data source here. So this is data set 1. So instead of calling this data set 1, we could just call it employee departments. So but mostly I just leave it as data set 1. You can validate query. It says it's successful, then just do okay. Now, so the first, that's what we just need to do for this video. The next thing you might be thinking about is that how do I load in another data source? So let's say you have data source from a different server. I could just call this maybe data source 1 adventure work 2022. The one I loaded initially was 2012. So I'm just going to make sure you pick Microsoft SQL Server, build again, the same. This might take a minute, but let's just, so we have this, right? So I'm just going to choose the Jjay Insights, same thing. And I want to choose the database. I could choose a different Adventure Works 2022. So that's the same thing, test connection, that's okay. So it's just going to test connection, and that's good to go. So you see I have multiple data sources. I could also have like multiple data sets, right? So it doesn't just mean I could get data sets from the Adventure Works. Let's say add data sets, and I just want to do Adventure Works 2022, and I want to load in data from this. So let me try to come here and load in a different table. So I want to load in a different table from different database, right? So this is 2012. So 2022, let me load in this store with demographics. So that's just, let me just do select distinct, and so we could see why I'm choosing this. So we see that here it has like salary, it has more information that we can play around with compared to the other table. But the advantage of the other table was that one has a date. So let's, the same thing, just come back against my Power BI Paginated Report. Remember the data sources, the database is different. Validate query just to be sure everything is okay. Data fields were updated, and that's pretty much it. So you could also rename the data set. This is called employee department. This is, let me just say, rename. So data set property, yeah. So what I just loaded now was demographics, right? So it's called demographics, and that is that about that. So I hope this video was a value for time. Let's watch out the next video that I'm going to be talking about, how to like create a table in Power BI reports, and also like what you can do with your Power BI reports. Thank you. Ciao.